That's right, we're finally doing a long-awaited profile on Genex, probably one of the worst decks in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. Alright, make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oscar. Now, this is something just totally workable in testing. It was based off of my original build that I had, pre-ban list. Kind of wanted to test out something, so I want to be very clear on some of the ratios and things here in case it feels like we're playing too many of something. So we are playing 3 copies of the searches for the 3. The big thing with this is going to be used to search for your Birdmans anywhere through the combo, all right? So that's a big thing that you're going to have to realize here is you need these cards to be able to search. You have enough copies of them to be able to do the searching, but I wouldn't feel bad about cutting some of these lines down just a little bit to try to make Genex function. We also do have triple copies of the level 3. The major thing you care about with this is it is also a searchable for the 2, but it's also a pyro monster. So you can search for this off of the bonfire, and then the Genex will see that a card was added to hand, which will then trigger an extension play for you to get the chance to continue onwards to play. It's very, very, very important for that to resolve. This is one of the ones I'm not a super big fan of. The 2 searches for the 4. I wouldn't be really opposed to cutting this down to 2 and playing it as a 2 of, just because of the way that this card runs. The card is definitely still very good, though. This is also one of the bigger ones, too. This searches for the 1 and gives you the spin back around. I wouldn't be opposed to cutting this down and playing 2 of this just to be able to play. But the thing is, the reason why I'm playing so many of these is because you just want to make sure you can see them. But if you could shave down the fat just a little bit on the numbers, I think things would be a little bit more consistent in that department for you, because the searcher for the 3 is the one that does everything for you. We do play 1 copy of Controller. I do not ever want to play more than 1 of this. This card is one of the worst bricks in the world, and you're already dedicating 2 slots to Undyne as it is, because you need to get the dump of this into the graveyard so that you can do your thing. This is also a free add back too, which then it turns the graveyard off for the rest of the turn after you do that. But like, I don't really care about that as much. I just care that this can act as another extender so that we can do the thing. And you can banish a Birdman to make it a tuner. I mean, that's kind of relevant, just a little bit, but it's just so that the link can see that you've got options to continue on. This is the best card in your deck right here. Birdman is everything. It adds cards back to hand, lets you change up your numbers, lets you continue on with the extensions so that you can do your thing. Alright, card is nuts. We do play 1 copy of Oracle. He's a 1-of. He's just, if he's added to hand, he can re-special summon himself. Yeah, if he's added from deck to hand by an effect, he's a special summon. So if you do add it off of one of the searchers, you can plop itself down and be able to synchro, but it has to make a Genex monster. It's also one of those more conditional, you get access to some of the odder things in your deck, like it being a level 1 now means you have access to, 5. And, if you're combining it with a 3, you're getting down those really weird numbers. This is, I think, probably one of the better cards. So this lets you special summon it from your hand if you control a Genex monster during the opponent's turn, and then you can synchro summon during your opponent's turn. So it's actually where you're cheating out the level 10 synchro to be able to punish your opponent. So you can leave a Draco Berserker or Crystal Wing on the field and then kick off with this in hand to extend down during the opponent's turn to have another negate. And most of the time your opponent's not going to be able to stop this unloading from the hand. Now, this is where things kind of get a little bit clunky. So I am playing triple copies of Ash Blossom. This is so that we can get a stop, need be. I am playing 2 Veilers. I'm definitely going to cut one of these for Droll so that I can cross out Droll. Most of these hand traps, you have to really consider a lot of 1-of slots here. So you have to play this for the cross out. You auto lose if your opponent nibs you. Especially like if you go up to the vulnerable point of having 3 monsters or 4 monsters on the field, they just nib you and you just lose. I am playing 1 Saravis. I do want to play an extra copy of this. I do think that this card is very incredibly solid, but you only have so much room in the deck for what you can jam pack in here. And we're playing one copy of Fulawars, so we can also cross this out. I also want to play the Perulia in here as well as a cross out target. So we're looking at definitely adding Droll. We're looking at adding Perulia. Maybe a Ghost Ogre overcutting a Veiler too. Those are very strong options for sure. We are playing triple copies of the Searcher. This is also pretty important. This adds from deck to hand, so once again, our Link monster will see that we've added something, so it'll start a new ignition line of summoning. This actually kind of acts as a little extender for the deck, which is actually kind of cool. We play one copy Pot of Prosperity. Hey look, another card that sees an ad. So you can do your thing. This actually is actually getting cut down really hurt. We also play triple copies of Crossout. This is solidly the best thing that this deck has. Since our deck is so freaking vulnerable for any real thing out here, you have to play so many cards to make sure that the castle can actually resolve. And then, of course, playing One Called by the Grave and triple infinite permanence. This is also just as one of those cards to stunt your opponent so you can play the game. Alright, so we play 3 of this. I'm going to be honest with you. You don't really need 3 of this. I think you still choose to play the 3 in case you play against like Unicorn or something. That way you can do the thing. But you can only summon one of these once per turn. And if this card is link summoned, you can add a Genex monster from your graveyard back to your hand. So the thing that you use to link summon with, to search, you get to add it back. And then since he sees something added to hand, alright, except by drawing it, you can, except during damage step, after this effect resolves, normal summon a Genex monster, and then you can't special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except for Synchro monsters using a Genex tuner monster. Such a very specific condition. But it is an option for you to kind of do some things. Definitely gets places. I'm playing one copy of the SP Little Knight, also just so you can kind of do your thing. And then, of course, we are playing 2 copies of the Herald, which is actually pretty solid. I like this card. This card's really, really good. This is a free Stepping Stone and a free banish a bad card out of your hand so that you can revive the Birdman, and then you can make the Crystal Wing. It's also one of those situations that you look at this card and you're like, oh, hey, we can do a lot with this. All right. It really is really good. We do play one copy of the Triarm. A situation, in case you Birdman with the other monster for the water. It's just a spell and trap pop. You're not really doing anything else with this. We do play the one copy of Axel. Axel, I don't know. It's one of those cards you look at, you're like, okay. Draco Berserker is some insane value in this deck. I like this card a lot, especially when you can step over it during the opponent's turn to do the thing. We also have the Crystal Wing for the pop. One thing I'm testing right now is the Fabled level 10. It's a free, basically quick effect, send it, and you take control of something your opponent controls. Yes, I understand it is a big level 10 investment, but it also has 30-50 attack points, and playing into the opponent's turn, it is a form of interruption. So I do like that a lot. Taking control of something that the opponent has, taking away that resource, feels a lot better than, Mr. Cheng Ying can be at certain points. The big thing with the Cheng Ying is it's just going to get big for how much stuff is going to get banished anyway. So you just want a big attacker so you can play the game. LOL Locomotion. This is just here in case you do actually end up making it. There are a lot of scenarios where Locomotion does come up, but it's funny. And then probably our best card, the 6 Element Negator. Popper. This card is really, really solid. I think that this is by far probably the best accessible boss monster that this deck could actually have access to, but it does a lot for what this deck wants to do. So it is very rough in progress working on this. I got way more testing to do. This was definitely one of those fun hobby decks that I had on the side that I was like, hey, we can do some really cool ideas with this, but if anything happens to that big monster that you're trying to put that investment into, your whole field, the whole deck just kind of falls apart. So, guys, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I hope you enjoyed some Genex discussion, because this doesn't come up too often. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.